Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, I've recorded and, excuse me, I have shot videos, I have recorded videos on Black History Month over on my original channel, but I would be remiss if I didn't do anything over here on Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology on the Black astronauts. I stumbled upon the Black astronauts due to a number of reasons. First of all, I went prior to COVID, I volunteered at the David M. Brown Arlington Planetarium over in Arlington, Virginia, which is here in the DMV. And one of the members of the Columbia STS-107 space shuttle, which David M. Brown was a crew member of. One of the other members was Lieutenant Colonel Michael P. Anderson. And for those of you who don't know, the Columbia STS-107 disintegrated upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere in the early 2000s. But there was a black man who was a part of that crew, Lieutenant Colonel Michael P. Anderson. And so my background and many of the discussions on this channel have been in the realm of the biomedical sciences, but there are other areas to the STEMs, such as aerospace, astronomy, and astrophysics. And there are quite a few Black scientists and engineers and astronauts. And so I wanted to highlight them because right now the foundational Black America, or should I say foundational Black Americans, lag behind in the STEMs, and I think that is in large part due to the fact that we don't know that these people exist. Look at me, I have a PhD in pharmacology with training in toxicology, and until I started volunteering at the David M. Brown Arlington Planetarium, I had very little knowledge of the Black astronauts, aside from those who were highlighted throughout my youth, such as Mae Jemison, who's on this list, and also Ronald E. McNair, who the McNair Post-Baccalaureate program was named after. And it was through the McNair program that I got turned on to academic research, and that's how I even conceived of the idea of earning and pursuing a PhD. So it was through the McNair program, and that's who the program was named after. Before I go over this list, on a high level, I want to say that I think my West Indian Archie blog post pairs well with this, because it talks about a specific aspect of Malcolm X's journey, where he realized that there is a lot of wasted scientific potential in America's inner cities, and an individual from his story that he thought about in that way was West Indian Archie, who he was involved in the numbers game with. West Indian Archie had the ability to memorize long sequences of numbers, but for criminal activity. And Malcolm pondered and realized that West Indian Archie could have been a great scientist slash engineer slash astrophysicist slash astronomer as well. I'm also going to point you back to my interview with Raphael Perrino, who I met over at the David M. Brown Arlington Planetarium, and whom I served on the board of the Friends of the Planetarium with. Raphael works in aerospace himself, and we conducted an interview right here on Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. And if you have a young person in your circle right now, whether it's your young person or a niece or a nephew who has shown the aptitude for math and science at an early age, there are some secrets in that interview with Raphael for launching a career in aerospace or astronomy and astrophysics. Again, these are things that in many Black communities we don't talk about, we don't learn about. We don't learn about MIT until down the road, if at all. I didn't learn about the Massachusetts Institute of Technology until I was working on my own PhD and I was in my 20s, and that's because my graduate advisor attended MIT as an undergraduate. So my West Indian Archie blog post and my interview with Raphael Perrino will be below this video. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the Black astronauts. These two PDFs with their bios are going to be below this video as well, so you can take a look as well. So I mentioned, and as I read through these names, the bios are on these PDFs from the NASA website. All of these people had an aptitude for the sciences, and some of them actually studied physics as undergraduates and as graduate students. Some of them were Air Force servicemen or women. Some of them were physicians first before going into NASA. So there are multiple routes that you can take into NASA to become an astronaut. You can, again, study the sciences. You can go the medical route, or many individuals enter through the Air Force. So I'm just going to read over some of the names here. I mentioned Lieutenant Colonel Michael P. Anderson. There is Yvonne Darlene Cagle, Guion S. Bluford Jr., Robert L. Curbine Jr., Charles F. Bolden Jr., a lot of juniors here, Benjamin Alvin Drew, Jeanette J. Epps, May C. Jemison. She's been celebrated quite often during Black History Month. Victor J. Glover Jr., there's another junior. Ronald E. McNair, PhD. Frederick D. Gregory, Leland D. Melvin, Bernard A. Harris Jr., Bobby Satcher, Joan E. Higginbotham, Winston E. Scott, and Stephanie D. Wilson. So those are the Black astronauts. There may be some younger ones who are in NASA right now. These are the ones that I had on file. And I think it's important to highlight these individuals and just to know that they're there, and just to know that Foundational Black America has produced astronauts, several of them. When we look at pop culture and Hollywood, we typically think of the white astronauts like Neil Armstrong and let's see, I can't think of the other ones, but there are some other well-known white astronauts that have been portrayed on the silver screen, and we think about them often, but we don't think. Buzz Aldrin, that's another one. But we don't think about the Black astronauts, and if we don't know that they're there, it's harder to reproduce. It's harder to reproduce them, and it's harder to inspire young people to follow in their tracks if that's where their passion and their aptitude lies. I don't know that I'd be brave enough to go up in a spaceship. Someone asked me about that recently, and after seeing, just being in one, just going into outer space, and after what happened to the Columbia STS-107, and also what happened to the Challenger, because that's the space shuttle that Ronald E. McNair died in. I was in grade school when that happened. I don't know that I'd be brave enough to go up in a spacecraft myself. And there's a lot of talk of folks going to Mars, and that's the discussion I had recently when someone asked me if I would be willing to do that, because there's a lot of danger and a lot of potential hazard in piloting a spacecraft to its destination and then on the return journey. So I'm going to stop this here. Those are the Black astronauts. Again, there may be some younger ones that I missed. If you know of them, please leave them in the description box below. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. If you want to leave something in the tip jar, that information is below this video. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.